Okay, I wanted to do one more quick video. And honestly, this is going to be a serious one. I think one of the most dangerous things that we've done as Christians, this is for the Christians, is really put a value on people depending on the relationships that they're in or the relationship that they do not have. I think it's wise to ask a person more than, hey, so do you have somebody in your life? Ask them about their spiritual life. I don't hear many people asking me about my spiritual life, about my spiritual walk. I praise God that people ask me about my mom, and understanding my dad passed away. They're, trying to check on the last parent that's left. But a lot of people ask me more about my relationships or the lack thereof. And of course, when you're kicking on 40, they sitting back wondering, what's wrong with you? No, not wonder. They actually tell you, or they ask you, what's wrong with you? Or what are you doing wrong? But no one sits back and asks me, how am I doing spiritually? Because honestly, that's a lot of reasons why we're still single. There are people who really want to be single. I'm not one of those people. However, I know I got issues. And I'm wise enough to have watched other couples crash and burn. I've also watched positive, wonderful marriages and realized it is a positive thing to go into a relationship whole. Now, God says He completes us. He makes us whole. But if you don't have that, then what are you taking into a relationship? And I started to question that, like, what do people want me to do? Go in there wanting my man to be my God? That's what would have happened with Raven. Because I didn't have a wholeness in me. I was still having daddy issues. I was still having self-esteem issues, My self-esteem was very low. My respect level was very low. I can talk a whole bunch of stuff, but honestly, for me, I wasn't content. I wasn't happy. But when my father passed away, when he got sick, my world became my dad more than anything else. And I realized something. With him and I not having the closest relationship in growing up, I realized it created a need for the opposite sex stronger than it needs to be. But spending that last 2 months with him, taking care of him telling me he was the apple of my eye, learning that he really did love me, learning that our love language was just different, learning that my mother really loved me and cared for me, learning that my brothers are really there for me, although we interpret being there for each other just a little bit differently, but they are faithful really to being there the way that they think they're being there the best way they can. I really started to see everything differently. It created something. It started to fulfill a void that happens sometimes in life when you don't get certain things in childhood. But the biggest thing is, this grieving process has made me understand God and love Him more than I would have ever imagined. That's important. More than, not to say I don't want a relationship, but I think it's wise. Is a lot of people want relationships. But the thing that you don't want to do is push someone to want something that they're not ready for. I was never ready for it. As much as I may even cry and say, oh, give me a man, Jesus. I wasn't ready for no man. Am I ready now? I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to Jesus to figure out. But I know before, I definitely wasn't. I knew I wasn't. I knew I was looking for a God. I knew I was looking for someone to take on a burden that they could not handle. And that is something you need to understand when we're pushing people, men or women, into something that they are not ready for. They don't even know what they're asking for. Find out where people are spiritually. Find out where God is in their life, because that's the most important question you want to ask. Some people need to stay single until they know who Jesus truly is, because other than that, they're bringing hell into someone else's life. Can I say? So this is Raven. We're regaining Eden, one decision at a time.